was an engineer with a level of competence in the area of geotechnical engineering and support staff of that consulting team. Officers of the police force, officers of the fire and ambulance services, and I want to really actually pause the recognition to commend the officers. They were there from early morning. And also, we had officers of the Forestry, Wildlife, and Park Division, and the acting coordinator of the Office of Disaster Management and other staff members, and for the coordinating that assessment and the work that is being done with between the various agencies that just referenced. I want to also say early in that discussion this morning that that assessment team is in the area during the day into the night time. And a number of other things were actually done. And of course, we're able to deploy, like the Office of Disaster Management and the Fire and Services department, drones to get proper footages to actually identify possible public hazards areas. And dialogue was held with the Fishery Village Council, and to ensure that they themselves properly apprised of the situation. And also, from what I've been advised on the report contained during the report before me, that there's also dialogue with members of the community of Fishley. And that is important in the event there's a need to have a contingency plan for possible evacuation in the event that that has to be done when the slide is being cleared. Now, importantly, and it's important for us to take that into consideration because paramount is the safety of the people of the Fishley community and other members living in that general location. So the area where the landslide took place, that is on the original road itself that is being actually widened by way of slope stabilization. It's essentially a construction site. So as a precautionary measure, that area has been cordoned off. So the public, members of the public, should avoid actually traversing that area because that area is a construction site. As I said earlier on, there was a bypass constructed to facilitate vehicular traffic access and access for pedestrians wishing to traverse the adjoining communities. So, what is the way forward? Now, as you know, we have been experiencing constant rain, and therefore, an assessment had to be made yesterday as to when the contractor is to mobilize the requisite machinery to actually clear the slide. So that will start this month, and the members of the team that I just referenced, they're going to go back to the area to ensure that mitigation measures can be actually adhered to for the express purpose of ensuring that the safety and security of the residents downstream, and those elements actually can be preserved. So, in terms of the weather forecast, that itself will actually assist in the actual trend of the landslide. From what we have been advised by way of the weather forecast, you have some intermittent rain today, not as significant as yesterday and the days before. Into Tuesday, a dry day basically. So that in itself, the weather will be more favorable for the actual clearing of the slide. The intention is to ensure that the river is not disturbed in any way, that the river can flow properly, and of course, the hydraulics of the river can be enhanced. So that's basically what it is this morning in terms of as to what transpired. And governments actually rapid and response. So again, I want to put on record my appreciation and that of the government, and of course on behalf of the people of the country, of this country too. And you have excellent public servants out there. And in particular, I want to commend the acting coordinator for our diligence and everybody who has been there from morning and of course going outside.
Mr. Blackmore, we are running out of time, but about a long-term strategy for the area, I'm sure that is being discussed.
Well, let me just put this on record. What is happening is not an immediate exercise. As you're perfectly aware, it is that the government of Dominica, through its National Resilience Development Strategy, which has a 2030 time horizon and has outlined a framework for rebuilding a climate resilient and sustainable development. And that encompasses, therefore, reconstructing our roads with a view of making our roads, one, more resilient, safer, and more secure. And so as we speak, what is happening in Gambia, that is to say from Lubia to Bakatel, is the reconstruction of that road where, by way of grant funding, in excess of $160 million is being spent. And that level of reconstruction entails certain intervention to say that's to say the widening of the road, the installation of proper drainage, box culvert, and slope stabilization. And when that road will be complete, the road is the safety and security of the people of Belfry, Fischling, Bakatel, Gramby, traversing anyone traversing that road, whether it's by way of vehicular traffic access or by way of walking, your security will be significantly enhanced.
All right. You hear the minister?
You will find her anywhere not to go. No chase a sprinkle a rip shot show. They look in my I hear they say they have Ganda. I talk about a rivers. They dying slowly. They trying and trying. And nobody don't want it. They shopping up a list. All in the forest. Now she dehydrated. And looking in distress. All the champions at forestry are no longer there to protect she. Please help us find a copy and say a prayer before cemetery. River of we have a river for every day. We used to always.
Well, the ministers seem to indicate that everything is under control. The villagers are saying, no, it's not.
Used to dive sick, we are under power. Love it better if you swim in your shower.
9:17.
We have no national.
I have a few people on the ground monitoring what's going on, but let's see if we can take a few calls. Hello, talk to me. Yes. Hello. Hello. Nobody there. I guess we have to tread carefully because I've spoken to a number of people in the community this morning who seem to be very concerned. Hello, talk to me. Yes, good morning.
I say praises, thanks, blessings, and glory to all those who sacrifice their personal safety and security, trying to elevate mankind to humanity. Mr. Penalty, blessings to your family.
Blessings to you, blessings.
Not nobody should believe anything no politician say. Not the Minister of Justice, not in our Minister of Justice, no? A woman? I don't know. Anyway, let us forget. Not Blackmore, not Scary. Not these guys are so incompetent. Not the grant funding. Ask Blackmore, from which country now we get the grant funding? That's money we have to pay back. How much millions is it, man? Ask him for me, from which country we are getting the grant funding. Not these guys are so... the word I'm looking for, I know nepotism is one of them, where the friends and the family have to do things, Matt. The geologists, the wash fair, the business head. I hear you say a fella the other day. Somebody write and tell you Karen's talking like the business head with a wash fair. You remember that, Matt? maybe currencies, they're geologists. I don't know what is happening in the country. Not these guys are so unprofessional, and these guys are doing things by mad, and they want to cut back on costs because no matter what amount of billions they steal, the more they take is the less they have, man. So these guys are going to do anything and say, yes, the Chinese is the soil scientists. They tell me about that Benoit guy went to China. Man, is he a geologist? Isaiah Benoit?
From what I gather, he may be their geologist.
He may be their geologist. Man, I'm going to contrast and compare. The man from Jamaica, then you would want to hear his report.
But let's take this morning blessings to the issue at hand this morning. We want to concentrate on what we have on hand, okay? 9:19. Hello, talk to me. Yes? Yes?
Hey, Matt, morning.
Morning to you, bro. Yes.
Matt, let me say I want to congratulate the guy, the moving Bellot guy.
Yes, moving Bellot.
Yeah, because really and truly, he's the eyes up there. And if he explains to you where he's at, it will not affect him or the people downstream.
Yep.
Matt, we have to realize the rain on that side is the Atlantic rain, the people can get it. It comes hard, fast, and furious. Now, there has been already disasters in that area with the area flooding. Since they put the bridge, there are problems there. And that problem just ends up all down Maranatha Square with the river running down there under normal circumstances. Imagine a dam has been formed up there.
Mm-hmm.
And you're telling people nothing is going to happen, they'll be safe. So I want people to listen to that Mervyn Bellot guy because he seems to have his head where it's supposed to be and understanding what's happening. And once you have a mountain falling down, then the whole natural aesthetics of the river in terms of meandering, erosion and deposition changes, you know.
Yep.
So you're going to have serious problems there. And you have that damn fool coming and talk and listen some long story. My brother, you can't listen to an incomplete like that more. The man that lives in there and understand what's happening in his environment is the person that the people must listen to. And don't make their parties and politics cloud up their mind and then they lost their lives down the line. It is serious because what? Under normal rainfall, just heavy rainfall from the Atlantic, in that this area is actually and also not seeing the rain, you know. So when you have that condition where you have the floods come, it hit that area, it hit the bridge. I see children bathing under the bridge there under normal water. It just flooding up just before the bridge making a bathtub because what the blockage that underneath the stuff they make there. Once rain falls and that comes up, it's right on the road, ending up all down Maranatha Square, causing problems. So if a dam building up in that area, you know how disastrous that can be. You cannot direct that water with debris, silt, mud, trees, logs, all kinds of stuff. It's going to take its own route. You cannot stop water. And where it's going to end up is right in the lower areas. And you don't have no defense wall in that area to keep the river away from the village. So I want people to listen to this guy for me, please, because I really appreciate what he's doing. And I want him to continue to do what he's doing, but keep himself safe also. That's all I really need to say. But people need to understand and listen to that man on the ground, the Mervyn Bellot guy, because where these politicians are, once they run in their project, they just want to bamboozle people, shock and awe, and that's all they're thinking of. They're not thinking about the lives of people. If they were thinking of the lives of people, they wouldn't be siphoning so much money from the country and have the country where it is there, smelling with garbage, shit, and all kinds of stuff. Have a good day.
All right, somebody says this is the height of recklessness to be dumping soil in Pishley River so that is a mixture of natural and man-made disaster. Lord have mercy. The villagers of Pishley have to be very concerned, and of course there's reason to be concerned and vigilant. You just can't take Mr. Blackmore's word. Somebody saying 449-3095. There's a lot of reaction there, and I'm hoping that the authorities are listening to people on the ground because they're very worried and they seem to be a backup. Remember Matthew Dam, nobody was concerned. Some people were, and then just burst into Layu. So you have to be very, very careful. Okay, thank you very much. Our officials campaign on everything, every platform. There's a disconnect to the issues and not being addressed on point. The response was for more confusion this morning from Mr. Blackwell. Good morning to you, Matt. Common sense, the landslide blocked the river, the water is going to find another path or just burst downstream one day. Again, I'm going to see for myself and monitor this what is going on because I've gotten a lot of calls. People are very, very concerned there in the community of Pishley. And this is not political or partisan, right? I will take the word of Mr. Bellot every day. It sounds quite truthful and genuine, somebody says.
She was fat and juicy, man used to want to dive in she.
Is there a lesson as you can compare and contrast? Imagine we have a lot of rain in the Debonche area, you know?
She's a sprinkler if show.
It is interesting to hear the minister use terms as hydraulics of the river. He should also include the hydraulics of the river. Terms and the concepts, I hope they have applying to what they're doing in the Debonche area as well.
She dehydrated and looking in distress. All the campers at forestry are no longer bear the protection. Please help us find a copy and say a prayer.
Somebody who says, knows a little better. Now, when you have a river damming up and not flowing downstream, this is a disaster waiting to happen. I remember Layo, yes? On the telephone, hello, talk to me, yes?
Yes, Martin, again, Martin, this is to highlight something. When Blackmore said that Nincompoop said something about hydraulics of the river. I mean, I grew up by a river and I understand the natural aesthetics in terms of erosion, deposition, and how a river meanders. But I never understand about hydraulics of river, you know. So when I said that, I just know that guy was talking crap. And the thing you say, let's not make it politics or partisan politics, but now we have to be careful. We have to realize there are a lot of people that are bamboozled by the politician, and they listen to the politician thinking that the politician knows better. And I just listen to the politician. Imagine, you remember during the Maria, when the people in the Lubia area, when they were saying, even Paul Michel too, when they were not advertising or saying what category it was. And then you had Thompson and what's his name, Joshua and all of them, giving a different report saying how dangerous it is asking people to move. But the government wasn't asking people to move. And if everybody had said, you can imagine the disaster we would have had on our hands. You understand? So some people do listen to the politicians and take the politicians' words for the gospel, or even believe it more than the gospel. So really and truly, these politicians have become these people's gods. And you have to give them that warning. Listen to the Mervyn guy, what's his name? Bellot. Listen to Mervyn Bellot, because what? He is right there, and he's telling you he's not going to be affected because how close he is to the actual disaster. But then the disaster that will come after with the damming of the water, it will affect the people in the lower areas. So when the man telling you that he understands, listen to him for me, please, and don't listen to this nincompoop politician. Have a good day.
Protection. Please wake up before they finish our country. River of death, they're the country. He showing mighty Kubuni. All that they wash the sea. In garden about country. Over in West City, till we taking blows. Can't swim or wash your clothes. River of death. Body your soul and energy. Develop and accuracy. Ultimately, Kubuni. Total madness, you see. People, great fish and lobster. They feeling the pressure. River of death.
On the telephone is 927. Hello, talk to me, yes? Yeah.
Matthew seems not to listen to me when I'm speaking.
I'm listening to you every word, blessing. I just don't want to be mixing up issues at this time.
Don't know when I'm talking.
I'm saying we don't want to be mixing up issues at this time.
It's not a mixing of issues. I'm making a nexus, a connection, but Matt, I am saying these guys are incompetent and they will do anything and say anything. While you are saying it is not political or partisan, but they take it and they make a mess out of it. These guys will do anything, destroying Dominica in the name of stealing, saving money, and in the name of projects and development. What they have done or is doing up there, that is disturbing the geology of that geographic location within that Pishin area. Maybe if you bring some other experts there, and they will watch and they will tell you exactly what they're doing wrong. As I said about nepotism, their friends, their family, their party supporters, they will do it, and the professionals will just stand aside and look. Guess what? It's either they migrate or stay in Dominica complaining or just maintain the persistent silence. I am saying, Matt, these politicians are quite deceptive, and Mervyn said it. When Joshua and Francis and Thompson Fountain was given, and I tell that to you several times, you got to listen to DBS News and the weather report and all what they were saying. Matt, I would have lost all my electric tools in my workshop. Listening to them, man, on 295, I say no. I take in my chances. I remove all what I could remove. The cable saw alone, I tie it with a tarpaulin and all of that. But listening to government in Dominica is like listening to Lawrence Bruman telling stories. So I am saying that young man, I was just building up my point, you know. They say, oh, he's not a geologist. They have the geologists, scientists, and all kind of things, Chinese, and Isaiah being one, whoever. Not to listen to that guy at all your own peril. Because I'm listening to a man who knows the area, who experienced in the area for many years. And that's what they're doing. They've allowed Chinese, Jack Gadakan, Anthony Hayden, to just come here and think they know the terrain better than the people who born and raised there and watch river pattern and their behavior and all of that. And I will have to do some research, Matt, on the hydraulics of the river. What does that say? You did not even break it down. So Blackmore, wake up there. Maybe ask Eric, can I say something, sir? Massa, and he come talking foolishness on the radio. It's not the geologist called Chichi Scary to come and talk. No, Matt. When he talk, I will believe them. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. I'm actually looking for a few people there in, I'm going to try to see again past what's his name, in the Pishley area. And of course, a few of the villagers who basically will tell their story. Of course, we heard Mr. Blackmore, and they'll tell their story because they seem a little worried or concerned. Actually, I've alerted the former disaster coordinator in Dominica, seemed to be retired this time. I woke him up this morning. Can you go scout the area for me a little while? I'm talking about Mr. Cecil Schillenfer. He might be able to give us an assessment. He's the expert there as it relates to disasters. So maybe we'll hear from Cecil Schillenfer later. He's no longer the government service, but we'll see what happens. Hello, talk to me on the telephone.
Good morning, Matt. How are you?
Good morning, see how you doing?
Great, Matt. You know, sometimes when you listen to discussions on the radio, even if you tell yourself sometimes, you know, just listen. But when you listen to certain things by certain people, it imbibes you to want to say something about it.
Okay,
Matt, let me look at this safely. I mean, I want to say unequivocally, clearly, that one must admire Mr. Blackmore for perhaps being the only minister who makes himself accessible to the public. Okay? He had what I would consider a remarkable interview Friday night, albeit it's questionable because I'm not sure why he should be the minister having the interview with Dr. Lennox Honeychurch. And this morning again, I heard him on the radio as a minister on your radio station attempting to speak to the issue at Pishley. So, you know, give Jack his jacket. As they say, high shady blah. And maybe more of the ministers should do that. Mr. Blackmore rises to the occasion of being available to the public. Maybe not transparent, maybe sometimes a little bit too arrogant, but give Jack his jacket. He comes and he makes himself accessible to the public. But Matt, again, I'm asking this question. We have an impending disaster. Well, we had an environmental disaster yesterday. We may have an impending social and public disaster. My question this morning is at 9:30, given what happened yesterday, shouldn't there be some kind of press conference? Instead of Mr. We have a department in Dominica responsible for disaster management.
true.
There are public servants paid by the people of Dominica to provide the necessary, relevant, appropriate information to the people of Dominica in their capacity as the technocrats and the administrative people responsible for reporting to the Dominican public. Okay? One must commend the Village Council of Pishley for their statement on Facebook yesterday. You have to commend them. And I'm saying so because in recent times, all village councils have gone dead. They have been muted. They have been made political agents. None of them are able to do anything without the permission and endorsement of the Prime Minister and the government. So they've all become puppetry organizations that have not been fulfilling their responsibility of being available to the villages that they serve. So one has to commend the Pishley Village Council yesterday for a remarkable statement on Facebook. Okay? So that's a good way. Now, Mr. Blackmore has, and ministers of government must understand, it's not because they are ministers and they are politicians that gives them the autonomous right to tell everybody else to shut up, that they are not public, that they are not experts, that they are not technocrats, etc. Because they themselves, in the ministries that they serve, they are not qualified, competent, and capable or knowledgeable to speak on those matters. So are they therefore saying that because they are not qualified geologists and environmentalists and so forth, and when they speak, that they themselves are being foolish? The public of Dominica has a right to speak on national issues and to share their opinions on a public forum on matters of national interest. And it's time these ministers of government stop telling people to shut up because they don't know what they're talking about. And first of all and foremost, to understand that in their speaking, they have to make available to the Dominican public the people in the relevant ministries who are paid to do their job, not only to obey ministers and the Prime Minister and Cabinet, but to be accountable to the public of Dominica. Yes, we are saying that people in Pishley are not geologists and environmentalists. But what happened? We have failed to listen to the very environmentalists about Dave Ranch. The environmentalists and all the experts, people who know about land formation and rock formation, we have not listened to them. But we are telling, and then we are saying, no, they're not experts. Why do we have that duality, right? Why do we have that ambiguity in our statements? So while one must comment, Mr. Blackmore, again, I will do it, because again, the other ministers of Dominica, of government, the Minister of Health, his mumu is shut up. His tongue has evaporated or perhaps dissolved. He cannot speak on anything about health in Dominica. The Minister of Education always misspeaks. We don't have a Minister of Agriculture. We don't have a Minister of Health, anything else. And it seems as though the only minister in Dominica is Mr. Blackmore. So give him credit for attempting and making himself available for speaking on the radio. Albeit, most of the times, I think he needs to tune down his level of arrogance and he needs to think and think. And again, I would end by saying good effort on him because, I mean, they are tied. And you told a speaker earlier that Dave Wash and Pishley are not tied, but these are both geological concerns and they are interconnected because they deal with the same land issues in Dominica. And so on Friday night, he had a very thorough interview with Dr. Lennox Honeychurch. And I had to ask myself the question, and I had to commend him, because Mr. Blackmore deviated from his minister program on safety on Friday night, and he brought in Dr. Honeychurch. So that's very good. But where is the minister? Where is the other ministry who should bring Dr. Honeychurch to speak on that issue? So that's what I want to say this morning, Matt. You understand what I'm saying? Kudos to Mr. Blackmore for speaking. But two, stop telling people that they must shut up because people have a right to express their opinion. And lastly, this morning, before midday, I think the government of Dominica, the relevant ministry, the Minister of Environment, Mr. Kozia Frederick, from the Kalinago territory, the people who are responsible for those things, Minister of Communications and Works, etc., and even Mr. Blackmore, because you're talking about safety and security. So three of them together have a press conference. I hope they're meeting in cabinet or they're having a meeting this morning. Have a meeting among themselves and their experts and their technocrats. And by 12 o'clock, have a press conference to inform the people of Dominica thoroughly about that issue. Because the people who have been speaking are raising legitimate concerns about their livelihoods and their safety and security. How many people in Pisha didn't sleep properly last night? How many people in Pisha living below that are wondering whether they're going to be covered by a load of mud and whether the river is going to come down? How many people who may not have somewhere to go to? How many people cannot commute this morning, cannot make their way to work? Public servants have to address those concerns of people, make themselves available to allay people's fears and to give people a certain level of a sense of security, what has happened, what to expect, what they intend to do, how they intend to go about it, who's responsible for what, who people can contact. That is what public service is about. For God's sake.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Always ready and willing.
We have a river for every day. We used to always host and say,
Just in case you guys have been wondering,
all the springs are just
there's actually some hydraulics taking place with the river. Did a quick research, yes.
in your shower.
River hydraulics is the study of the movement in rivers driven primarily by gravity, focusing on velocity, depth, discharge, and sediment transport. It defines how water interacts with the channel's bed, banks, and floodplain, controlling erosion, disposition,
And you came in his dress. All the champions at forestry are no longer there to protect she. Join your voice with Mr. Happy.
and channel Mandarin. Key components include uniform flow, turbulent flow patterns, and hydraulic geometry, meaning how wide, depth, velocity change with discharge. So, Mr. Minister is actually right. All right, you know, there is a river hydrology. So we can't be quick to condemn the minister when he speak of river hydraulics, okay?
Once you win your map, you have to go. I love you as a river. They dying slowly. They trying and trying. And nobody don't worry. They chopping up a lips. All in the forest.
Hello, talk to me on the telephone. Are you there? Yes?
Hey, Matt, I just want to declare I wasn't condemning no minister.
Okay.
I was just this term used. I wasn't familiar with it.
Well,
so then my
yes.
apologies on that level.
I'm happy.
But
I'm
I
happy.
would say- No, of course. But my point is, don't listen to these people because what lives are at stake and they make it look like it's business as usual. There's no threat. That is the point I am making.
Okay.
So I wasn't condemning the minister. So the hydraulic word he used that I didn't understand and I didn't get it in terms of, I understand rivers in terms of meandering and erosion and deposition.
Yes.
So there's a word called hydraulic.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yes.
No, cool on that. So
We agree.
I wasn't condemning him, but my apologies if you think I was condemning him or if it sounds like a condemnation.
Okay.
Have a good day.
Take care, my brother.
Even great fish and lobster, they feeling the pressure. River of death.
9:42. Hello, talk to me. Yes. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Peltier.
Good morning.
Good night,
How are you doing?
and thank you. It is not like I am thinking of the ancient days. There were no people with credentials and people to say they got for this and for that. It was just the people around that know their place very, very much. So they could, if to say you see something happening there, then you see something indifferent happening there. You know about your place to give an assessment of what is happening. I saw a little bit of that. I went by my friend and I saw a little bit of that. This same man, Mr. Moving Bell, speaking, and you're showing the place, what was happening there. But when it comes down, I said in between that same place there is a little pool of water instead of it. So if he is monitoring and seeing certain things, the Bible said he uses the foolish things of this life to confound the wise, and he uses the weak things of this life to confound. Sometimes it's not we that have the papers that think we know it all. A simple little stupid man can just say certain things and then it do work. But never believe that because we have papers, we have this, we have G's, and all those kind of things, that a simple little person without nothing can't help. So there comes you have to listen to them, work with them, and see what we can bring through for.
Thank you very much. On the telephone, 449-3095, 96 and 97, 943. Actually, I'm still trying to get in touch with few persons in the Pichler community. Hello? Yes, good morning.
Yeah, Matt, I am still standing my ground. You see, in them times there, Matt, when you're talking to villagers, you're not talking to some scientists and you're talking using those big intellectual jargon like the hydraulics of the river. You're dealing with the people that are frightened, that are concerned, that are almost terrorized by disasters and a government. You come Matt, and you try to be as basic as possible. Let me give thanks to Mr. Joseph. Why not this morning a press conference? Maybe at the GIS office or on DBS or something. And he made comparison, Matt, the same thing with the Dewash and the Pichler. And I was trying to tie them together about demand. He said burst with warfare. Matt, these people are disjointed. There is no dovetailing. There is no connection. There is no coherence. Matt, all these guys, and I said it, and look, Mr. Joseph said it. He's carried that up to talk, Matt, as a geologist, for me to believe him. Because everything that is happening in Dominica, Matt, is pure mediocrity, where people settle for less than the best. It's about disappearing money. It's about accumulating wealth. I listened to the Prime Minister wife the other day talking about generational wealth. How convenient. So I am saying, Matt, that beloved brother that are risking it all, driving, honking his horn and telling people, yo, the danger is pending more than what we saw based on the landslide. He is saying something is about to happen. But didn't I heard you said that they said there is no threat to lives and property, Matt?
Yes, that's what the release indicated there this morning, yes?
How did they conclude that? Who is the experts or expert? Is it Chinese or Clarence that come to that conclusion? Something just happened yesterday. What is the assessment? What is the scientific assessment, so to speak, or research to come to that conclusion this morning? So that is why I'm telling you, Matt, when you see these guys come in his stuttering, gibberish nonsense, and Simeon, I agree with you, but when he comes there, the only man that will come as a minister of government, particularly on Q95, and talk. But most of the time, Blackmore makes no sense. Blackmore does not understand what is coming from his mouth, much as for the people. So, Matt, I'm just saying, Dominicans must be very, very, very careful. Just like when Maria was coming and DBS was just at sea, while you had Joshua Francis and Thompson Fountain, who alerted the people and those who may have listened to them like me, I save a lot. So, Matt, tell Blackmore and the scare at and then go through the proper procedure or channels rather than coming and playing hero. You hear the Prime Minister not say what? What did he say? What's the relevance? How substantive, how scientifically based what he said have any foundation to stand on? So Dominicans, be careful with these criminals. Thank you.
Tragedy in the garden, we all know we have shamefully vanished from Eden. We witnessed the first paradise lost. I think that it's Mother Earth who ended up paying the cost. That's why I'm begging Mother Earth is crying. She said to stop the pollution. Oh, oh, oh. Mother Earth is dying. We got to stop the pollution. Oh, oh, oh. Full attitude got to change and priorities rearrange. We got to become more competent The way we protect the environment and fight for all that is worth, fight to save mother. Oh, mother, crying. Oh, in case you don't know, the planet is dying slow. What a sad way to go. Right.
On the telephone, hello, talk to me. Yes, good morning. Hello.
Good morning to you, Master. How are you doing, man?
How you doing? How you doing?
Beautiful, beautiful day, beautiful weekend from God Almighty. Let's hope that your parents are okay. Aniston and Master, good morning to you all over in New York City. Packet speaking here. Just shortly, Master, I am from Pishland. Actually, I'm from Razad. And Papayam and Razad, the landslide took place between them. 1. 2, this soil, as far as I know, risen up as a child, is called Numi soil, because in Dominica we have 4 types of soil. Okay? So it is swift to go down, and then it'll tremor, earthquake. And then Uabiti, anything with trouble, it is going to go down. If you remember a couple of years ago, that where Duwasco have a dam, there was a landslide, not to that effect, but there was a landslide that damaged a deceased lady's home who was living in America, poor lady, so rest in peace, Helena Lavender. So these areas are prone to landslides. And what I suggest to the government is do their best to ensure that the riverbed is open so that we may not in the future or prospectively have a disaster. That's all I can suggest to them. And let us just do what we have to do to save the lives and people and property and people of my community, Fishline. Good day today, bro. God bless you.
Good day, good day, good day.
Oh, mother, crying. Oh, in case you don't know, the planet is dying slow. What a sad way to go. Right. Your soul is depleted. Endless factories belching tons of pollutants in the atmosphere. Rivers and seas can't escape on Mother Earth. We constantly got it right. The evil planet will strip the Amazon there. As it rain on the nation, it is hunting to extinction. A roller coaster ride to self-destruction. Stop mankind from living a certain grave. We got to get together. It's motherhood we must take. That's why I feel this motherhood.
Here's a press release coming from the GIS. It reads, following a landslide early Sunday morning along the Loubier to Granby Road project, after heavy rainfall, officials and engineers conducted an on-site assessment of the affected area. Based on the assessment, these are the assessments, authorities have indicated there's no immediate danger to nearby communities. Material entered the nearby river, resulted in some ponding, which is now being addressed. Crews are mobilizing equipment to relieve water pressure and begin clearing operations. The contractor will temporarily redirect resources to manage the situation, which may impact the project's progress.
What a sad way to go. Oh, yeah.
There's so many things happening now.
Massive global warming with the sea level rising, islands and countries like Holland may be no more. As natural resources deplete, people can find food to eat. Famine for both rich and poor. It was a human thing.
Sorts of reminders, in late September 1977, days of intensifying rainfall saturated the steep hillside above the coastal village of Bacatel in southern Dominica. The intense rain destabilized the soil on the slope, triggering a catastrophic landslide that rushed down into the community. That's a report there from the University of the West Indies. A moving mass of earth and debris engulfed homes, sweeping buildings of their foundations and destroying parts of the establishment. Fatalities approximately 11 to 13. People lost their lives in that disaster. So yes, the slides can be very, very dangerous. On the telephone, hello, talk to me. Yes.
Yeah, man, just quickly ask a question on the people's behalf. The grant money, a grant is not a loan, so they have not to pay back. Or we, the people of Dominica, does not have to pay back that money. Who's giving us that grant? Which country is giving us that grant for that project from, how they call them at, to that place there after Newtown?
Loubier, I think from my recollection, I think some agency as it relates to the UK though. But I'll find out more. Yeah, I think in the United.
I would want to know what amount of money. You there with me, Mr. Peltier?
Yes, I'm there.
And what could it be in the whole scheme of things? Dominic, in the factoring of making an omelette, Dominica, are the eggs not we have to break to make that omelette? And to what extent? What are the sensitive areas that are no-go zones where there are holes bad? Could it be it is unrestricted and unlimited? I was watching the news last night, listening international news, talking about copper, the importance of copper, and how China is taking the raw materials, maybe the raw dirt or rocks, and bringing it to China and extract the copper from it. Are we going to do the same thing in Dominica? Because we are asking, with that pile of soil, to get the boulders that is more dense, what they're going to do with the soil. Are they going to export the soil, Because I learned that last night. China now is restricting other international countries based on its hegemonistic or dominance, where rare earth minerals are concerned. So it is getting the raw form of it. Blessings.
Next thing you know, we become extinct. The cancer we breathe, I wonder who's for. I think we to give up the hope when we can't take no more. No more, like because Mother Earth is crying. She said to stop the polluting. Mother Earth is crying. We got to stop the polluting. What attitude got to take and priorities rearrange. We got to become more competent. We really protect the environment and fight for all that is good. Fight to save Mother Earth. mother crying. In case you don't know, the planet is dying slow. What a time way to go. Today the things we know could determine the future and pray what will the picture be. The grandson and granddaughter fighting chaos and disaster as motherhood protest violently. Wake up, people, and be part of the struggle. The planet Earth in serious trouble. We got to end this melancholy refrain. We cannot afford
10 o'clock in Dominic and the rest of the Eastern Caribbean. Are you there? Uh-oh.
Mother Earth is crying. She said to stop the polluting. Mother Earth is dying. We got to stop the polluting. All attitude got to change and priorities rearrange. We got to become more competent. The way we protect the environment and fight for all that is good. Fight to save Mother Earth. Mother crying. In case you don't know, the planet Earth dying slow. What a time way to go. Right. Give it.
I'm going back to Mr. Bella this morning. Yes, I actually listened to the minister, of course, of security, Mr. Reuben Blackmore. So you have listened to this minister. What is your assessment of his comments?
I just spoke about that a while ago with my co-workers. What he's saying, I disagreed with him, and this is not true. This is a thing that it is life-threatening. Anybody who caught up in that top of this dam, if it bursts, is going to be life-threatening. And the amount of houses on that end of that area, all the houses in the area will be affected. When I heard him talk about properties, that's not true. Because there is a lot of houses on that area, on the roadside, on both sides of the road. And a lot of the areas when Maria, they were affected. When Erica, they were affected. And if that one coming with all that debris, they will be affected. They will.
But I'm just going to read a statement I'm getting there from the GIS. It says, following a landslide early Sunday morning along the Lubia to Grand Bay Road project after heavy rainfall, officials and engineers conducted an on-site assessment of the affected areas. Based on these assessments, authorities have indicated that there is no immediate danger to nearby communities. Materials entered the nearby river resulted in some ponding, which is now being addressed. Basically, I'm getting that these are just small ponds being, affected. Are you there?
I hope, yes, I am. I hope the villagers are hearing or reading what the people is sending.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is not true. Even my cousin who is next to me, he's panicking very much because we are the ones seeing what is happening. We are the ones that is in the heart of it. and we're seeing.
So you said the authorities are underestimated what's going on there?
Yes.
They
are underestimating the situation. That is not true at all. And the people in the area can tell you, we all have been there. Since yesterday, we are watching the situation. And this is, you're dealing with mud and water like mortar. When you mix in mortar, that's what's going to happen. This morning, my cousin and I, we were discussing that. After I come out and see the site, I came talking to him. I was there talking to him. He told me, boy, that is like mortar. Anytime that can just burst. And we told that to them yesterday, and they're making a story out of it.
Somebody reminded me of this morning of the Bakatel disaster in the 1970s when, the monster rushed and took some homes and persons with about 11 to 13 people.
Yeah, that's true. Of course. So when you tell the people that's not, you have no threat, no danger, the people will be in the area, the people will be there with no precaution, nothing, like life is normal. But that's not true. That dam can burst any time. That's a lie. The one in Layo, that's what happened. It just burst and come down. Come down with force. The thing has a lot of water. If it did not have water, that was a different story. But it's loaded with water.
So again, based on your assessment, people have to be very cautious, very careful.
Yes. Because even when we spoke to the people close to the area, which is the first people that would be hit if that stuff came down, when I spoke to them, they tell me, they have started packing their stuff.
Evacuated.
To evacuate. Because the people know, we know the river. And that's the same thing that happened with the bridge. When they were building the bridge, we told them, when we see what they were doing, we told them the centerpiece in the bridge, it is not good. Right? They agree, they say, the architect who built that, they know what they're doing. The villagers came and told them, they never listened to the villagers. And twice that bridge bring new water in the village. And even when we were telling that to them afterwards, the ministers would say, oh, they are not architects, they can't do nothing. I'm like, you all are the ministers to deal with that. So how we cannot tell you all anything? And that's what happening to us. Things just happening, people just saying things and nothing has been done. Like they don't worry with us. That's how I'm seeing it in the village. In Fishlands community, that's how I'm seeing it. Like nobody, authorities, nobody worry about the people in Fishland. Everything happening and that's how it is.
Very serious.
That's a lie.
Very serious situation. They will continue to monitor. So thank you again, Mervyn. Keep us updated, okay? Thank you.
Mother, crying. In case you don't know, the planet is dying slow. What has I to go? Right. Your soul is depleted, endless batteries belching guns of pollutants in the atmosphere. Rivers and seas can't escape on water. We constantly got it right. The eastern planet will strip the Amazon there. As it rain on the nation, it is haunting to extinction. A roller coaster ride to self-destruction. Stop mankind from living a certain grave. We got to get together. This motherhood we must stay. That's why I'm feeling motherhood is crying. She said the stuff is polluted. Motherhood is crying. We We got to stop the polluting. Oh, oh, oh. Old attitude got to change and priorities rearrange.
Let's take a phone call. Are you there, caller? Yes.
Yes, finally and quickly, Matt. You see wisdom. He and his brother talking about water and mortar and cement. But that is an controlled environment where you are the one pouring the water into the cement and sand or whatever. But Matt, you have a landslide blocking a river. The saturation begins where the water is trying to penetrate through the soil, and then that is flowing like lava. But you can escape a water, you can hold a branch, you can swim across or something. But when lava, a mud mixed with water and all of that, but by the time that cover one leg of yours, you finish, Matt. And for you to sit down without any serious geological or scientific study and tell the people there is no threat to life and property, that is irresponsible, that is disrespectful, that is abusive, that is ruthless and inconsiderate, man. These people are wicked, man. Thank you.
All right. Hello. Talk to me. 449-3095. Now, Blessings, you were asking the question earlier. Actually, you left without I telling you. Yes, the project is sponsored or being financed by the UK. I indicated that to you earlier. CIF and the CDB. Okay, so these are the three financiers of that project, the Lubia to Granby Road project. CDB, CIF, and the CD and the UK. Okay, UK, CIF, and CDB.
Mother Earth is crying. She said to stop the polluting. Oh, oh, oh. Mother Earth is crying. We got to stop the polluting. Oh, oh, oh. Old attitude got to take and priorities rearrange. We got to become more competent. We really protect the environment and fight for all that is good. Fight to save Mother. Oh, 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 Mother crying. Oh, in case you don't know, the planet is dying slow. What a time way to go. Today the things we know could determine the future and pray what will the picture be. The grandson and granddaughter fighting chaos and disaster as mother earth protest violently. Wake up, people, and be part of the struggle. The planet Earth in serious trouble. We got to end.
All right, let's see what happened.
Good morning to you, Matt, again, and to your listeners.
Good morning.
Well, first of all, I'd urge you to play my earlier voice note. It's not too long, but I will say simply this. If Mr. Blackmore and other officials have not visited the village and looked at it themselves, they should have at least looked at the video by Mr. Bellot. And if they've looked at the video by Mr. Bellot, that in itself, all by itself, should raise their concerns enough for them to head up there and visit that village and get stuff going. The last thing I will say is that this is being compared to the dangers faced by the Layu village when the Carhome Dam broke. Yes, it is very similar, but it is also extremely different. because the Kahum situation was a dam at an altitude. When it burst, it came down and it ravaged through, the Layu area and came all the way down to the village of Layu. However, the significant difference in my view, was that the Layu village itself was very far away from the source of that water. The amount of water posed a threat. The amount of water and the way, the location from which it came created a situation where it absolutely ravaged through that area and came all the way down. However, remember that this dam is right above the village of Pishle, right above the village. And some water has already gone through the village as a result of what happened yesterday. If that thing breaks and it goes through that village, the village is immediately, without any warning, going to be inundated with water traveling at high speed with debris in it, and is going to cause havoc. Hopefully it will not cause any deaths. Hopefully it will not actually break away. But this thing cannot be taken lightly. It is right there above the village. And if it were to break, the village is in immediate danger. Immediate danger. And those lower downstream as well are in massive danger, because you cannot decide for the river where it is going to travel, where it is going to pass. So those who live alongside the riverbank, lower downstream, are also going to face that danger. Please act for yourselves, people. Think for yourselves and do what you have to do. Blessed day.
Massive global warming with the sea level rising, islands and countries like Holland may be no more. As natural resources deplete, people can find food to eat.
Hello, yes?
Yes, good morning, Matt.
Morning to you, morning.
Yes, I happen to have been a witness probably a few minutes or hours after the Kahum Ancaster slide took place in the Layu Valley area. And I recall that there was already signs of the road sinking above. And I remember this is Clem Farrar of St. Joseph, bless his memory. He was warning ahead of time that there's some issue with that road, because the signs on the road pulling towards the valley was evident. And I remember the afternoon when that happened, I was going to the Layu Valley to do some work, myself and Dr. Lloyd. And when we came on the Layu Bridge, we observed that there was no water flowing in the river. And as we entered further into the valley, we saw that the fish and crayfish, etc., in the river were struggling for survival because there was no water flowing and so on. I also recall that the morning when the dam burst, it eventually made a dam, and I recall the morning that the dam burst, I also witnessed the early trickling down of the water when it initially breached the dam, and I moved away because of the imminent danger. I'm saying what happened there, a rapid risk assessment has to be done, and whatever measures have to be taken in terms of ensuring that the eventual or possible danger of the community, especially livelihoods, the lives of the people, are taken into consideration. And so it is important that those who have, again I'm saying, those who have the training and the experience, they are the ones who should be able to do those sort of assessment and evaluation, and so inform the public in a way that is professional and not tinting to look down or subjugate anybody that makes a comment. Not any one of us living in an area like that with the slide, the size of the slide we saw coming, and we live in the immediate vicinity, all of us would be very, very concerned. And so the fact that the villagers are concerned and unstable and worried, it is something that we have to also sympathize with them and give them a professional overview so that we can calm any fears that they may have. But it is something that has potential for danger, and as such, we should approach it with that in mind. Thank you and good morning.
All right, thank you, and good morning too. You know, a lot of people seem concerned about this. I'm actually trying to get some numbers here, but no response to this. I remember the Matthew Dam. I don't know if I was in Dominica at the time. I think I may have left to cover some meeting somewhere around the world, maybe in the UK. Some whaling meeting when the dam burst there in Layo. But I remember specifically, my good buddy Franklin Moses covered that, and he wasn't in the mouth of what happened there with GIS. My friend, what's his name? Felix Augustine and Brother Me. You remember that time when it burst, Franklin? Tell us about that experience.
Thank you, Matt. Let me first say good morning to everybody listening attentively and to find the facts and the truth. As Matt rightly said, I was literally in the jail Bushui taking a story, I work for GIS, the Government Information Service. Let me bring you back to when it happened. Mr. Huxley Shillingford, the Shillingford's land in that area, they noticed, and eventually, I'm going to say that, Cecil Shillingford and the disaster preparedness people, they sent to get an expert from Trinidad who said the same thing I said. There is seepage, which is water from the river, is undermining the side of the mountain. So what was frightening us, we stood exactly to overlook in this, just like a volcano crater. So there was seepage of water in the sand, so it couldn't hold itself. So with that became breakage. In other words, the real land, not the crater was brown dirt, as you can see in the Layo River, the brown dirt. But the dark dirt of what's his name again, the Shillingford guy? No, the Shillingford families, their land in Carhome. Cox Street, Shillingford. Okay, so it's his land. It was the most frightening thing because water was reaching at the top of a coconut tree that was about 15 feet high. And we had nightmares. You could hear the velocity of the water sipping from somewhere. So we went at the top of the mountain, and then when it did burst, it took everything. The gas station, remember there's a gas station there? 2 people were heading in that direction, and they had to drive fast in reverse without being killed because it came as an avalanche. As you see how snow come down, and it just uprooted trees. You saw a whole plant. I mean, I'm talking about 2 banana trees. I'm talking about a whole maybe quarter acre of banana trees just going down in that valley towards the river. Obviously, people were scared. What if it burst in the night? I'm talking about maybe 1 million tons of water. Because what was happening, the river is flowing into that bassin, but it's not going out. The next position is to rise. Now, with the ever increasing volume for up to go up means the equal velocity to going out. So a lot of people lost their livelihoods. So you see boats by the end of Layo, everything went down. Whole coconut trees are going down. And imagine we have to record that for TV. We had nightmares. It was the most frightening thing to see this humongous amount of brown water coming down the Layo River. So, crayfish started to get vexed. Fish and video started to get vexed, and no more TV. I just put that in there for a little comedy. But it was a frightening thing for the people in Layo because they're down in that hole there. So we lost a lot of boats and the housing for boats. A lot of land. I think Jatakan is there now. That river was all the way past Jatakan going down, Layo was in trouble.
As a matter of fact, what we're referencing, Franklin, is because Peachland, there's a slide that took that went down there on Sunday morning.
I think so.
Sunday morning. So a lot of people in the area saying the water is building up.
And it's dangerous.
And it's dangerous.
Very dangerous because it's life-threatening because unlike a hurricane, you can predict a hurricane. You cannot predict a catastrophe with water. It comes at its own time. It's like a volcano. You can predict it may explode in the next 2 months, but you cannot say today or next week. And it was frightening for the people because their livelihoods was being destroyed by the act of nature. So whoever had sponsorship for it, who had insurance, you couldn't claim anymore because there's no land to mark. So that happened. So it disrupted economic life, financial life, agricultural life, general life in general. If you could get somebody who was there from Layu, they couldn't sleep. In fact, it was a national disaster in that area there. Life-threatening. So it took all of Rural, all of the gas station, all of the other side of life. When you go into Hillsborough, everything was under mud. And then you had to clean it up. That took another 3 weeks to clean up.
Something you covered, you never forget.
Never forget, because I have a vivid memory, really. And so I can remember the smell. I can remember because dirt has a unique fragrance, or rather, I should say aroma. And you could smell it at home. Brother me, Mr. Anthony Richards, Felix Augustine Jr., Melvin Didier, and Franklin Moses, along with Dave Bruni, who was at the time our boss. So every night we had a full episode. I got the music from a guy named, I got the appropriate music that would stimulate the emotion of the moment. It was scary, yet it was uncanny. In other words, you couldn't go to sleep. So you had dun-dun when they saw, some brilliant editing was done by Felix Augustine Jr. And we did have nightmares. And at that time, cell phones were just coming into Dominica. So Mr. Cecil Shillingford got from the National Disaster Corporation to give us 5 phones. Those days is the flipping phone. That's a thing you flip.
Like the free?
Yeah, so hear that. So we used to go at lunchtime to the Chinese restaurant and we used to tell each other, call me so my phone can ring so people can see it. So fellas running downstairs and call, okay, who do I call you? But you don't call me yet, so you call and say, yeah, hello, I'm here, Franklin Moses here, for people to see you have cell phone.
Let me call Pastor Farrell, of course, Farrell up there in Pastor, my friend there from Peach Lane. Just hold on, huh?
Pastor Jack.
Yeah, Pastor Jack, that's the name I'm looking for.
I think I had. Yeah, I think I had his wife's number, but I don't have.
He gets called, so I'm going to call him back. Yeah.
Okay,
all right. But Franklin, thank you for relieving that story there.
Yeah, and there's more, but we'll talk about it next time. Thank you, Dominic. You're back on your radio right here. You listen to the bona fide, certified, qualified sound of the big station Q95 and Matt in the morning.
Massive global warming with the sea level rising, islands and countries like Holland maybe no more. As natural resources deplete, people can't find food to eat. Famine for both rich and poor. Impossible you might think, but we suffering on the brink. When you go, we become extinct. We can't stand with it. I wonder who's for. I'm going to give up the hope when we can't take no more. No more. Mother Earth is crying. She said to stop the polluting.
One of the big pastors there in the community of course, Peach Lane is Pastor Jack. You know him very well. He's on the Kingdom Connections every Monday with Pastor Rodney. He's one in the community, a big leader in that community there, community leader. Pastor Jack, what's your assessment of what is going on there in Peach Lane?
Well, I have not been on the site. I'm just listening to second-hand information.
Okay.
The most reliable one is from my own son, and who went on the site, came back and gave me a report of what he saw. And he thought it was serious, and from the videos that I've been seeing, it's very serious. But before, I know it's a short call, but I got somebody posted me something from National Security saying a statement saying that this poses no immediate threat to. I hope that's not your report. No immediate threat.
Well, that's a GIS report. I was just reading from the GIS report. Yes.
Is there an individual that is so irresponsible to report such a matter?
Well, I spoke to the minister. I didn't speak to him, but he listened to him on DBS radio. He was basically saying the same thing.
They have no immediate threat. Why are they asking us to evacuate? Yesterday, 3 people from the village council are calling me, waking me up from my bed, to because my mother is 95, and I have to make sure I get out of the area because she lives in the basement. So, this morning when I heard that, I was furious. I said, but how could there be certainty? There's nobody called GIS. Some foolish person who maybe didn't know what to write with that stupid thing that this doesn't pose any threat to the community. And they are going from house to house asking us in the main path to evacuate. And I did. I didn't intend to, but some of my friends were concerned and I wanted my children to be at ease. So just to satisfy them, I did. But from all explanations, from what Emo News carried up like, there is an immediate threat to the community. The whole thing is damning, and it's not to say it's going to happen at night or at day. And they have asked us to move at night, and somebody give me a rationale, blah, 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 and my good friends called and said, you need to move, you need to move. So I did move. But I am not the only one. All my neighbors did. Packed their cars, packed what they could carry, and they left. We all left the area last night. How could any irresponsible person say that this is not an immediate threat? How could that even be carried on? Does that make common sense to you? There is a landslide that is blocking the river, is damming, and I am seeing with my own eyes what the camera is covering. I know the area. I've been there. That's where I was raised. And you telling me with that kind of water backing up, damming behind it, that any time, and the water is seeping very, very slowly under the thing. That's not enough water to drain the dam. So any moment now, it could be now, tonight, tomorrow, this dam will burst. And if it comes down, there is no way it's not going to do damage in the village. So they have asked everybody in the path to evacuate. But my argument was, if you evacuate at night, well, it can happen in the day. And not only that, this is not immediate threat. Everybody from Pishley is a place that you can allow to be in that situation because that means it cuts off the entire south. Everybody from Granby, Pistetmont, Pittsburgh, Bagatelle, Profession, Jubic must pass through Pishley to go to town. And you must come from town to Pishley. So if this road is blocked or whatever happened in Pishley, it cuts off the entire south. This should be the concern of national security. So if they don't think it's a national threat, they do nothing. And that is an irresponsible statement.
So you're saying that statement there from the Minister of Security is irresponsible. That's what you're saying.
Very, very. They should have more common sense than that. At least as the village comes, as somebody, what happened there, whoever is saying that, I thought it was an AI-generated thing. So, I mean, how could you make a statement like that? It doesn't pose a threat to us. And Emo is just carrying out the thing like you can see the size of the landslide. They're telling you it's damming. They are telling us to evacuate. We're going to evacuate when there's an immediate threat. They didn't want us to sleep at our home because our home is in the past. So why all that drama is not an immediate threat? And I believe my son. He went, I saw him on the video. He was there telling me, look what I see, look what is happening, look what is... And I agreed. So why would I want to leave my house? Why? Just to say, and I said then. So it's very responsible. I hope they take it back. I hope somebody of more intelligence and have the IQ of Akitiwi to say that is nonsense. Because the village council chairman and 2 other members who are passing from house to house asking people to evacuate. So the thing is threatening all as I speak. So if they don't think so, they will not try to attempt to do anything. But I'm telling them, if it happens, it's not only going to affect Fischland, it's going to affect the entire South. That's it. They'll be cut off from town.
So, Pastor Jack, you have to take all the you have to be very, very cautious at this time because it's as you said, it may be a pending disaster there.
Yes, it is, and I hope this irresponsible statement is corrected.
Pastor Jack Lathan, thank you very much. Thank you. See. Interesting, huh?
Massive global warming with the sea level rising, islands and countries like Holland may be no more. As natural resources deplete, people.
Hello, Matt.
Morning to you.
This is Boots in the Air. Matt, I'm going to talk to you from experience. Matt, you see right now, the situation I'm listening to that is happening in Fischland is similar to what happened with the Mathieu Dam and the Layou Valley area. Matt, remember, I was there and I was instrumental in setting up an alarm system that helps save lives in that area. Matt, right now, what is needed is an alarm system with a watch 24/7 watchman crew that is going to be setting yourself in a safe position and looking at the development in the area. And within time, they need to have an alarm system. In Layou, we use the horn, the Conlabi horn. That's what we set up. If you go there and question, you will find out that I was instrumental in setting up a guy to do the Conlabi corn. And this is something that alarm people. They know the sound and they know that people have to hit for higher grounds, clear the way. Because when that thing decides to come, Matt, just think of a concrete stuff burst from a mountain coming down. It's water. No getting away from that. You just have to get out and allow that to do its work. And when it's settled, that's when people will go back. So the area for lives to be saved, they must immediately to remove people from the area that is in the risky area. The elderly people, it is compulsory. And there's an alarm system that need to put in place with men on both sides of that mountain, watching that thing 24/7. And when the alarm system comes, it have to start from on top and go down to the bottom, so that along the line, people can know it's coming, it's coming, it's coming, and people must get out of the way. That is the information I can give you, and without that, we're going to have a disaster. So let us pray that this can be put in place immediately so that this thing can be dealt with at a level of professionalism. Okay, bye, Matt. Boots in the air.
Well, I hope the authorities can reassess the situation because it seems like it's something serious there.
Massive global warming with the sea level rising, islands and countries like
10:37. Hello, talk to me. Yes. Yeah.
It's me again.
Yes.
Matt, you know where I live and you know I just pick up my bag and run fast.
Mm-hmm.
I'm asking Pastor Jack and others, please do the right thing. I spoke to Pastor Jack this morning already. Because his mother wrong and leave. Matt, the thing I saw on my television last night, I say, wow. Long time I would have run, Matt. You know I like to run.
I know that.
Right.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Mother, still crying. She say to stop the polluting. Oh, oh, oh. Mother Earth is crying. We got to stop the polluting. Oh, oh, oh.
On the telephone, 1038, yes.
Yeah, good morning, Martin.
Morning to you, morning.
Yeah, how are you doing?
I'm here. It's a busy morning.
Yeah, I just some guys too. You have a good guys for the river.
Yes.
Because upstairs.
We played that this morning. You missed out. We played that this morning. Yes, we did.
Yeah, because this is another good composition. The thing is, disaster management in Dominica. There is no piece of legislation that is disaster management. The policymakers will put that piece of legislation in place so they can have protocols and guidelines as to go about to manage disaster. They know that. Now, I heard this project was $160 million. And one of the things I picked up from the clip we played from the guy, I think he went from Fishery.
Yes, Bella.
Bellot is saying that they are dumping the tailings, like the soil and stones that they cutting from the cliff, is going in the river. We don't address that part yet. That is the important part. Because this thing now is causing siltation and dam of the river slowly. Now this is a high rainfall area. Gradually you have jack that work that all that dirt can come down and it will flood Fishery. My partner some months later, I don't hear him on the top topic. I know he will right in that riverbed. So you gotta get up. So disaster management is critical and we need to manage it to make it better than that. That is all the them thing. And we had examples of this thing in the Mati Dam. As Paul was just saying that the alarming system there is critical now. Because anytime water is back and going back, you never know when you come out to build the dam and you're going to flood down to go below. I had an experience where I brought a situation to when they were doing the East Coast Road, they were taking one river from McLaren, the McLaren River had stones put on the road. The river bed was dredged over a lot of stones. After Maria came, Maria flooded that whole castle stretch. The worst flood that ever get in his life. Flood all in the farms, the crops, take animals, and wash them into the sea. We got to respect the rivers. And when you're doing these things, EIA, there must be an EIA for that project, saying how things are supposed to be managed, because it is European Union and British. They don't give you money without putting an EIA in place. So the EIA needs to be enforced and implemented. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So, authorities, take note, huh?
If you see love rising, it is only beautiful.
Somebody says, man, these people don't have a clue. This is a disaster waiting to happen. The people must vacate.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. God bless you.
Oh boy.
Fight for all that it's worth. Fight to save mother.
On the telephone, hello, talk to me before we go. Yes, good morning.
Morning, Mr. Pelte.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Pelte, I live in a dangerous place in Marigot, and I've been talking about that place in Dam. I live by a river. Many nights the river wakes me up in my bed, in my house. I lost a lot of my property, and I'm calling on whoever represented up there, that area there. I think people still have to live on higher ground. I myself abandoned a house up there because of that. And you hear the professional talk like Tutus. I tell you about setting up a public works in Marigot and pitch there in those areas. And like what Tutu's seen there, I have seen that you hear the former health inspector talk. And we don't prepare those people there because they're not saying what we want them to say. But when those things there, we need those people there. I told you about Mr. Soames Robin with all the equipment up there. They have to set up a public works. We have to, Dam is a dangerous place. That river take a man already and kill him. We have to wake up a man in his bed because the river was going to take him. Big blood like in Dam, Marigot. Have a good day.
What a sad way to go. Oh, yeah.
Cover your bills with an interest-free payday loan from Quartz Ready Cash. Put extra cash in your pocket with a Quartz Ready Cash loan. Expenses adding up? Cover the cost with an interest-free payday loan from Quartz Ready Cash up to $1,000. No security required. 24-hour approval. All you need is your ID, payslip, 2 references, 1 recent job letter, and proof of address. Visit us today at any of our Quartz or Ready Cash locations. Don't delay. Put some extra cash in your pockets with a Quartz Ready Cash loan. Quartz Ready Cash. Ready when you are.
An easy way to pay.
You asked for it and you got it. A quicker way to pay your bills online. It's fast, secure, and easy to use. No registration, no additional fees. Flow is now offering FastPay, an online service that allows you to settle your bills in less than 2 minutes. Need a receipt? FastPay will send it to your email immediately. Use FastPay now for convenience, safety, and efficiency at discoverflow.co/fastpay. Flow is keeping you connected.
Right? It's Sunday. I'm back again. You for Ellen. Clean up the window. Men fighting over a project they were making. Two girls were not playing, so I thought to see what was happening. They fighting over a spot, and in a man what we saw. They wanted to make a project that day I will never forget. But say what you want, do what you want. Don't shit. But say what you want, do what you want. Stand by. But say what you want, do what you want. But say what you want, do what you want. That is the cup I want. You walk up to Ellen back to get advancing. People started gathering, and some of them were reporting. Taking the teacher put a never perform. They wanted to capture the moment about the corporate development.
All right, Dominica, we're here. This is the Calypso Radio. We'll continue with that discussion there, Peachland, sometime later. But let's do this. Of course, the big program, Global View and Q, is coming up tomorrow. So let's give you an insight as to what will be taking place tomorrow night on Q95. Monday, Mr. G. Good morning to you. How are you doing, sir?
Morning, Matt. Not too bad at all, and you?
Well, I'm here. I'm not as cold as you for sure, but I'm here.
Okay, lucky you. All right. Well, tomorrow night it's our second Global View on Q show for 2026. And we continue to engage with our local, regional, and global Q family listeners and friends of Dominica at home and abroad. Well, with me Tuesday night, tomorrow night, is Justice Dr. Irving Andre, social scientist Simeon Joseph, former Dominica UN Ambassador Crispin Gregoire, and ENT specialist Dr. Irving I.P. Pascal. We will discuss political leadership over the past 30 years and the impact on the lives of the people of Dominica and the Caribbean. There are some issues and questions that we have to deal with. For example, a historical perspective of political leadership in Dominica and the Caribbean and the consequences and ultimate outcomes on the people of Dominica and the Caribbean. The qualities of politicians in political leadership and its impact on governance. The rising tide of corrupt leaders in the Caribbean and the enrichment of politicians as a result of being involved in political leadership. We will examine the question, is debauch another betrayal of the public's trust by public servants, as it strikes at the heart of the social contract that authorities would act for the common good? Is the debauch debacle a result of poor political leadership? Is there a plan to mine for copper in the debauch area? Have we become Buju Banton's island for sale? Is Dominica for sale, or is it in fact being given away for free? Are the people of Dominica and the Caribbean better off over the past 30 years with the new brand of political leadership that exists in Dominica and the Caribbean? And why are political leaders in the Caribbean today so consumed with qualifications over leadership skills and abilities? Is nepotism being displayed by political leaders, and what is the impact of this nepotism on free and fair elections in Dominica and the Caribbean? Have we now sold our law enforcement to the highest bidder? Have we sacrificed it to serve our sins of selfishness and greed? Have we conspired to make a suspected murderer escape the hands of justice? Have we sold our criminal justice system to remain in the good books of the U.S.? And what is the future of the Chinese and the Cubans in Dominica and the Caribbean? So we look forward to the contributions of Justice Dr. Irving Andre, social scientist Simeon Joseph, former Dominica UN Ambassador Crispin Gregoire, ENT specialist Dr. Irving I.P. Pascal, and callers and viewers on the radio, Facebook, and YouTube on political leadership in Dominica and the Caribbean over the past 30 years and its impact on the lives of the people. So join us Tuesday night for the Global View on Q.
Mr. G, thank you very much. Looking forward to tomorrow's night. Of course, Global View on Q right here on the big station. Thank you very much. Thank you. It's 10:51 in the morning. Let's do this and we'll come back. Stay tuned for the big program tomorrow. Global View on Q. Looks very interesting. Sounds very interesting. Is Dominica for sale? We're going to try to continue the discussion there at Peach Lane when we come back at 1 o'clock. We'll come back.
She was fat and juicy, and used to want to dive in she. She was full of life and energy. She wiggled with vitality. You could find her anywhere that to go. Now she's a sprinkle of rip shot show. She looking my God. I hear they say she have Ganda. I talk him as a reverse. Me trying slowly. Me trying and trying. And nobody don't worry. Bishop in the lives, all in the forest. Now she dehydrated and looking in distress. All the champions at forestry are no longer there to protect she. Please help us, Father Happy, and say a prayer before cemetery. River of we have a river for every day. We used to always post and say, now a river is sprinkling, and all the springs are just trickling. Used to dive stick, we are under power. Now it's better if you swim in your shower. All the videos them gonna die. They say we have no national pride. I love him as a river. They dying slowly. They trying and trying. And nobody don't worry. They chopping up a list. All in the forest. Now she dehydrated and looking in distress. All the champions at forestry are no longer there to protect she. Join your voice with this happy and let's preserve our country. River of for over 25 years, Dominicans, we don't want of this. No our river streams and your water just ankle deep. We are destroying all of creation and staying is for development. The river so vexed with the once you win your path, you have to go. I love him as a river. They dying slowly. They trying and trying. And nobody don't worry. They chopping up a lips. All in the forest. Now she dehydrated and looking in distress. All the champions at forestry are no longer there to protect she. Please wake up and turn to me before they finish our country. River of death, river of death. The country is showing mighty Kubuni. All that they wash and say, in garden about country, over in Wesley City, till we take it close. Can't swim or wash your clothes. River of death, river of death. Body your soul and energy, development and mercy. Until mighty Kubuni, total madness you see. Even great fish and lobster, they feeling the pressure. River of death, river of death.
Daddy dee, daddy doy. Daddy dee, daddy doy. Why, boy, oi. Hey, jump. Seems like the law out of order in Dominica. It causing fear, panic, and concern in every corner. Black Mokobet, Richard, Valerie, they don't have the answer. Look the parrot of Rosso, take over. So congratulations on your new post. Stay humble, focused, and the boss. Lace up your shoe. I have plenty work for you to do. Commissioner Emlita, the vagrants in Rosa hustle in the stories. Commissioner Emlita, they busting granny chin running away with it. Clean up the city. We need security. To conduct business, it is our country to end this madness. Because it cannot be. You can guarantee